Thunderbolts, the Marvel movie for the mentally ill and the emos. Let's talk about it. Turns out, this is gonna be a spoiler type of review because I want to talk about the characters and mainly the overall messaging of the movie. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. Directed by Jake Schreier. Screenplay by Eric Pearson and Joanna Callow. Ensemble cast: Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Wyatt Russell, Olga Kurylenko, Louis Pullman, Geraldine Viswanathan, Chris Bauer, Wendell Pierce, David Harbour, Hannah John Kamen, Julia Louis DeFrayis. The movie starts out with Yelena blowing some shit up. She's a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. She's sad vibing. Sad vibing big time. And this is when I resonated with her big time. The key to this movie is not alone, apparently. She's working for Valentina DeFontaine. She's kind of running the show now. Val is facing impeachment, but you know what? She's kind of giving that Donald Trump shit where these impeachments don't mean shit to her. She's all like, yo, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do what I want. That's her energy throughout the movie. Pretty much all of the main characters from the Thunderbolts all end up in this facility trying to essentially kill each other because they're technically the evidence that Valentina does not want around anymore. Who would have guessed it? All of these rejects decide to work together and escape with this motherfucking chill-ass guy named Bob. Bob was one of the people who did the Sentry trials. Bob is a very complex character. Drug addict, bipolar disorder, a lot of mental health issues. He's got some shit going on. He was doing these trials to get some more drugs, you know what I'm saying? The Sentry trials pretty much makes an invincible human. And what Valentina wants with them is to make him the next superhero. But a mentally ill superhero who can't control his emotions, is that a disaster waiting to happen? You're gonna have to find out. So pretty much, they escape and you find out that Bob is invincible. The rest of the gang gets picked up in the sickest vehicle you could ever imagine. A dope-ass limousine. There's a funny scene in this limousine. If you know, you know. Bucky, he's tired of playing congressman. He gets involved somehow too. You know what, like I said, spoilers, little spoilers here and there, but I'm not gonna go too deep into the story because I wanna talk about the purpose of this film and why I think this film was a pretty good Marvel one. You don't need me to push you to go watch a Marvel movie. Marvel movies, people are gonna go watch them. But this one had an interesting take, and the reason why I wanna talk freely about it and not care about spoilers is because it speaks to the American people. The reason why I think this speaks to the American people is because a meth addict in a Marvel movie, I've never heard of that in my entire life. I think they chose to make Bob's character a meth addict on purpose because clearly there is a drug addiction problem here in the United States. All these people who are rejects and fuck-ups in the Marvel universe all come together and create a group of anti-heroes. I feel like that is a representation of where society is at today. Because let's be honest, the opioid epidemic has fucked a lot of people up. To be honest, me personally, I've talked about this before. It fucked me up, it fucked my family up, and if it hasn't fucked you up personally, it's definitely affected somebody that you know. This film did a great job at encapsulating the downtrodden, saddened feeling, especially when it came to Bob's character and the complexity of Bob's character, because he did have a lot of mental health issues, and it was showcased. He was like a nice guy when he was not in the void. The void is the dark place where your mind goes when you're having an episode or just honestly not feeling up to it. And I feel like the representation of Bob, or Sentry's dark side, is the representation of bad mental health. Let's just blanket it as bad mental health because there's a lot of different characteristics, different diagnoses, and different diseases that could be categorized as bad mental health. And I felt like it did a great job at showcasing that by showing the shadow version of Bob. Now, he turned the whole city dark. And at first you think he's killing people, but by the end of the movie you realize that he's just putting people in this fucking sad version of themselves. Like an inward, unescapable, fucked up memories on repeat type shit. And that scene where Yelena and gang goes in to the void was trippy as fuck because they showcased the beginning with the offbeat Captain America, Valentina, and Yelena. They showcase all of this in the beginning when essentially they're in contact with Bob and they're going back to a deep memory of theirs that wasn't the best. And by going into Bob's mindset, trying to essentially save him and show him that he doesn't have to go through this fucked up shit all alone, was extremely important. And I feel like this movie is speaking on mental health 1000%. That's why I said it's for the fucked up and the emos and the degenerates and the downtrodden in the beginning of the review. And I feel like it is extremely important to be aware that mental health does matter, in that addiction does exist, and if you're going through anything that is tough, knowing that you're not alone is honestly one of the biggest things in my own personal life that honestly kind of saved me. You could say whatever. I'd like to say the community that I had personally while I got sober, asterisk, like Thunderbolts, California sober, it helped me out a lot knowing that I wasn't alone in the journey of trying to quit alcohol, quit prescription pills, and all that fucking like harder drug use that I used to do back in the day. This movie spoke to me because I'm like, I understand what it's doing. I understand the message, and I low-key love the message because, like, you know what? Everybody loves a comeback story, and by the time you get to the end of this movie, you realize that they are the new Avengers. I think this movie was good. You don't need me to tell you to go watch it. It's Marvel. I feel like it's gonna crush. I'm pushing you to go watch Sinners if you haven't watched Sinners yet. And if you're struggling with mental health, I genuinely want you to know you do not have to struggle with mental health or addiction by yourself at all. Seek help, find a community, even if it's hard as fuck, please try. And that's my honest message to whoever's watching this review. I want you to know you are not alone. I rock this hat because sometimes I feel emo, sometimes I'll be fucking 100% honest and transparent. And if you know me, I've struggled with addiction since I was like 13 years old, and I'm fucking 30, bro, so I'll do the old saying I used to do when I used to make sober content. We got this! But you know what? Let me know what you thought of this review. What movies do you want me to review next? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, you sexy motherfuckers, and until next time.